Hey everyone and welcome to Storytime. My name is Jake and today we are going to be looking at the subreddit r/idontworkherelady. So sit back, relax and enjoy some Reddit stories. Pet store parking attendant? I was walking into the pet store to get some dog food and was wearing a yellow Hufflepuff shirt my husband bought me after he saw the new Harry Potter play on Broadway. It looks kind of like a badger in the shape of an H. Anyway, I guess that could be mistaken for a dog image. There was a car basically sitting in the exit to the street. I'm not sure if there was traffic and he was trying to turn left and taking a while. Who knows? Not important really. SUV/soccer mom/I want to speak to the manager haircut/Karen pulls up behind said car, notices me walking up to the entrance to the pet store. Karen rolls down her window and starts screeching. Hey, this car won't let me out of the parking lot. Me, totally confused. Oh, well, I parked over there. I point in the opposite direction of the parking lot. The car pulls out. He's leaving now. Karen also leaves the parking lot. What? Who rolls down their window and starts yelling at people? I didn't realize until 5 minutes later she may have thought I worked at the pet store because of my shirt. But even if I did work at the pet store, what could I have possibly done about the car in front of her? It was a relatively large shopping center. What a dumb woman. Well, I think the first thing she should have done is just honk the horn. If they don't respond to that, maybe go inside and be like, oh, can you get this person to move their car, please? Unusual hotel uniforms. So my friend was getting married in a small, quite traditional boutique hotel in the UK, and I was a bridesmaid. As the hotel was small, my friend had chosen to pay extra to have exclusivity of the hotel for the day/night of the wedding. As such, we were told there was only 2 other couples, not part of the bridal party, staying over the night before, and once they checked out, it would just be us until the guests arrived later in the day. We stayed over ourselves the night before the wedding, so we would be getting ready there the morning of. I was staying in a room directly above the bridal suite we were getting ready in, so when it was almost my turn to get my makeup done, I decided to run upstairs to grab a couple of my personal makeup items from my room. As I was heading back to the bridal suite, I saw an older woman, one of the other guests going to check out, struggling with a mini suitcase heading to the stairs. Heading down the stairs myself, I said, "Let me grab that for you," and walked down 2 flights of stairs with her case. A short distance to reception, making small talk with her. She was very thankful and asked if I worked at the hotel. I was wearing a short blue satin robe with the word bridesmaid across the back, my hair already fixed in an elaborate updo and bare feet. "No, I do not work here," I replied. Hey, at least she wasn't an entitled Karen, that's always a good thing. Excuse me? Hey you, don't you work here? For context, I'm trans F to M, female to male, and have just recently come out to my family. Before this, my clothes were tomboyish, but I never dared to buy something from the boys section for fear of what people might think. I cut my hair a few months back and I think I passed pretty well. This story happens in a clothes store, where I am finally able to buy clothes from the boys section. If you know me, you know I hate clothes shopping, and just shopping in general, so I plan to get in and out of there as quickly as possible. The uniform here is a grey polo shirt, black trousers, and smart black shoes. I'm wearing a camo hoodie with black joggers and dirty black trainers, looking nothing like an employee and evidently not an adult. Going up the escalator, I notice there are 2 people in a section I'm about to go in, entitled Dad and entitled Brat. As someone with social anxiety, having people there makes me anxious, but I remind myself that they are just here to shop and will just mind their own business. Or so I thought. Entitled Dad talking to Entitled Brat, "What size are you? You need this shirt?" How am I supposed to know? I just want to get out of here and go to McDonald's. You have to know. He takes several sizes from the rack. We're going to the changing room and you're trying these on. They leave, I hope for good. I take a good look at the racks and find a shirt that I like and some shorts. I measure the shirt up against me, trying to find a size that fits. I see them come back, but just ignore them, as I'm not in anyone's way, and I don't want to deal with entitled people today. Entitled Dad frustratedly shoves the shirts back, and in a raised tone says, "Excuse me, girl?" I doubt he's talking to me since I'm not a girl, and I obviously don't work here. He's probably just harassing some poor employee. Little did I know I was the poor employee. Entitled Dad again, louder, "Hey you, don't you work here?" I again ignore him since I do not work here. Entitled Brat runs over to me and grabs my arm. I obviously remove my arm, not wanting Entitled Brat's germs on me. Entitled Brat glares at me. "You work here, so do your job and help us." I freeze and just stare at them. Are you even listening to me? Are you deaf? I don't get why they hire people like you. I'm sorry, but I don't work here, and no, I'm not deaf. Entitled Dad's face changes a little, into a sort of, oh no expression, but still continues. Well, if you don't work here, why are you in the boys section? I was confused for a second, but then it hit me. My heart sank and I felt awful. I am a boy, and I am too young to work here. I'm just a customer, but I can help you find an employee to help you. He stares at me for a second, looking me up and down, then without any apology walks off with his son. Safe to say I got out there as fast as I could, and felt uncomfortable and dysphoric for the rest of the day, but still found a nice shirt, which I guess is a bonus. But surely it's no one's business whether you're a boy or a girl shopping in whatever section you want. That's your choice. No, I will not close the bakery. I don't work here anymore. A couple of months ago, I finally got out of retail. I worked at a grocery store for 10 years and have never been happier. This happened when I decided to go shopping at my old job. So my husband and I decided we need food and other items from the grocery store, and I suggested we go to my old store, the local grocery store, to see all of my old co-workers and get whatever we needed. We get to the store and we start walking around, occasionally stopping to talk to co-workers, and my old service manager, we will call her Anne, comes up to me. We exchange conversation and she makes a joke that I should close the bakery for them. See, the bakery never had enough people because they would quickly quit either because workers couldn't handle the workload or because of the endless drama that was always happening. Anyways, I joke back and tell her no and make my way to the bakery to grab a free cookie and see my bakery coworker. I see the manager, Jade, and we hug, and she tells me they need someone to close the bakery. Can I do it? I say, yeah, no, I don't work here anymore, in a joking way. Just as I'm about to leave the baking area, the store manager comes out of the bakery, and she's talking to the other co-workers saying they need someone to close that night. Of course, Jade had to open her mouth and suggest I close. Store manager perks up and agreed I should close the bakery and practically begged me to. What store manager didn't know is that I quit a month earlier. The reason she didn't know this is because she was out on LOA, leave of absence, when I left the company. I thought someone would have told her, but I guess not. After she begged me to close the bakery, Jade chimed in and said OP doesn't work here. She left a month ago. And I kid you not, the store manager's face went from happy to shocked. She asked me why I quit, and I told her my reasoning, and we just hugged and I apologized that I couldn't close the bakery. She said it was okay and we chuckled, and she walked away awkwardly. My husband and I had a good laugh about the whole situation while we finished our shopping. I'm really confused about Jade though, like, she joked about it first and then was like, nah, please work, it's funny, no, I don't work here, and then she goes and tells the store manager, oh, she should work here, and then goes, oh, never mind, she doesn't work here. Like, what? Would I be naked if I worked here? I went clothes shopping today. The dressing room had a 6-item limit and I had more than 6 things to try on, so left some with the dressing room clerk at the desk. I folded up the things that I tried on that I wasn't buying and brought them to the clerk and exchanged them for new items. As I was doing this, a woman tapped me on the shoulder, saying, hey, carry these in here please. I guess assuming I was a clerk too. Oh, I don't work here. Sure you do, I just saw you folding clothes. I was returning those items. I'm in a hurry here, excuse me. And I walked off because I didn't have time to get into it with her and try on everything I needed to. Hey, she followed me. Thankfully, the desk clerk saw her and went over to help her, so she let me be. I went into the changing room, put on an outfit, and stepped out to see it in the full-length mirror. Bear in mind, I had changed my clothes at this point. I don't know how this didn't make it clear that I was shopping, but she asked, "Can you get this for me in a smaller size?" I pretended to not hear her and rushed back into my dressing room to avoid the confrontation. Apparently, I was in such a hurry that I did not properly latch the door, because sliding the dress over my head, chest flopped out in the breeze. This woman follows after me and opens the door. I take the dress off and see her staring mouth agape, and she just says, "You really don't work here, do you?" Stunned but mostly irritated, I reply, "Would I be naked if I worked here?" She walked away, I shut the door and finished up. When I came out to give my next round of items to the clerk, the woman was waiting for me. She apologized over and over and said she'd been on autopilot all day. I told her not to worry about it and I hoped she'd enjoyed the show. I wonder what the clerk thought happened. To be fair to her, she did seem more embarrassed than the actual OP, so she was probably on autopilot and just didn't understand what was going on. Lady grabs me by the collar in Walmart. I worked at PetSmart during most of my undergraduate degree. We were in a strip mall type area, as most are, which ended with our store pretty much right in a massive Walmart parking lot. This was great when we needed supplies like Sharpies for writing codes on the fish bags or something like that. It wasn't uncommon that I would run over on my break to buy an energy drink or lunch or something for the store. On this day in 2012, I was being really dumb. It was finals week and I was running on 2 hours of sleep for the last 5 days in a row, completely on autopilot. Our uniform at the time was khaki pants and light blue collared shirt with PetSmart on the back in huge red letters. We also had just gotten headsets. I went over to pick up a small whiteboard for my department and completely forgot to not only take off my work shirt but my headset as well. I tried to stuff it in my pockets as best as I could, but anyone who knows a lady's dress pants knows that it was not happening. But I was already in the store by the time I realized, so I decided to rush and hope it would be okay. So I'm crouched down digging through the cheap whiteboards on the bottom shelf, trying to find one that isn't broken, and suddenly I'm knocked on my butt. This woman grabbed my collar right above the big PetSmart logo and had pulled me over. I turned to look at her and said, "Excuse me, are you alright?" My retail brain was still on, and I also maybe thought she'd grabbed me to keep me from falling or something. I don't know, I was pretty out of it. She starts shouting about the lack of good employees these days. She was maybe in her 60s, small-framed and loud. This is when I realized and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't work here actually." I pointed at the logo on my back. She goes off about how I'm clearly a manager, pointing at my headset. By now, I'm clutching my whiteboard and trying to leave. I again apologized, said, "No, I work at the pet store across the way," and pointed at the small logo on my name tag. I think she took this to mean I worked at the pet department in the Walmart. After a couple of minutes of arguing while I backed away and managed to make it halfway to the register, she asked for my manager. I told her, "His name is Steven, he works at PetSmart. If you go over there, then you can talk to him." I thought she got it finally because she stormed off. I paid for my things and went back across the way. It wasn't until an hour later, but she came in. She asked the cashier for the manager, while I spied from a couple aisles over. She actually tried to make a complaint about me not helping her out at our sister store. My manager essentially laughed her off and told her he couldn't do anything about what I did on my breaks. She left threatening to call corporate, but I never heard anything. I can only assume she called Walmart corporate to make the complaint. If you grab my collar and pull me down onto the floor, you're not getting any help. Hey everyone, I hope you all had a really good day and that you enjoyed that video. If you want to check out some other videos, then click on screen right now or check out the playlist down below. If you enjoyed that video, then please do leave a like. And if you want to submit your own stories, then you can do so by joining the Discord in the top link in the description. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you very soon.